Hi, this is JP Morgan.
And Trisha Zemp.
Today on the Slanted Lens, we have an interview with a fabulous photographer, Trisha Zemp. She's going to talk about her photography and, equally as important, or even more so, is her stop motion work, which is fabulous. So she's kind of one of those people who've gone from just working for a small Etsy shop, right?
Yeah.
Etsy artist, to shooting all of Etsy's advertising this last year. Trisha is a fabulous stop motion artist, and she's taken everything that she knows, kind of a complete look at how she does stop motion from beginning to end, put it into a download that the Slanted Lens is selling right now at theslanteddlens.com. Get over there and pick up a copy of this. It's an hour-plus material about how to do stop motion. All of Trisha's examples and secrets are yours if you get to theslanteddlens.com and buy a copy today. Trisha has a great story, and in this interview, I want to hear kind of where she got her style from and how she got to kind of where she's at. So anyway, first off, talk about just how this all started for you.
Okay, so I started doing stop motion out of a need, kind of. I got a DSLR camera from my parents when I was leaving to go on a study abroad in the Middle East. And I loved my camera, but what I was really frustrated with is it didn't have a video function, and I wanted to make music videos with my friends. And I've actually always made music videos with my siblings, and I wanted to make them with my friends while I was in the Middle East. I wanted to, after that, I went to Hawaii, and I went to school in Hawaii for a while, and I wanted to make music videos with my friends. And so I taught myself how to create really high quality videos, but using tons of frames of pictures. And so I started I would just take my camera and I just rapid fire shoot something, and then I would pull it all into iMovie, and that's just how I kind of started. So
you're making stop motion with those?
I was making stop motion videos with just rapid fire stills that I would take. Okay. And it was really fun, and my friends all thought it was so cool, and we just made a lot of funny little lifestyle-y music video, stop motion videos, and that's kind of how I started in stop motion, but prior to that, I had done it as a kid, like with Legos, and because it was fun.
My son did that, you know,
Yeah, so I definitely did that, but I really kind of gained a love for it when I was making music videos with my friends. And then on my birthday, Instagram launched the video capability for their app.
On your birthday,
On my birthday, June 20th, 2013, I turned 23. That dates me. Sorry, guys. I'm like so old.
Oh, kidding. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, on my birthday, Instagram launched its video capability for its app. And I was just like, the fates have aligned, because I love doing stop motion, but I didn't really have an accessible platform to share stop motion. I could upload it to a video hosting site, but it wasn't as easy to share it. But putting it on Instagram was super easy to share. And so the first thing I did was I shared a stop motion video that I made with my then boyfriend at the time about all these nickels that are going to the nickel arcade. And I got a good response, but I didn't have very many followers, but they liked it. And then over time, I just started posting more and more and more stop motion videos. And then I started to kind of build this kind of base of people on my social media following that really liked watching stop motion.
So when did you start doing work for the lady who has the Etsy?
Yeah, so she's a blogger, and she also has an Etsy shop, and her name is Brittany Jepson, and her blog is The House That Lars Built. And we connected while I was in school, and we started shooting all this great, fabulous content for her blog, and we would shoot all the time. We would get together and we would shoot photographic content for her posts. And sometimes while we were shooting, we'd be like, well, we have all this stuff here, might as well shoot a stop motion. And so we would do like scissors chasing a craft project, or we would do like flowers coming out of things. And we would just kind of create these fun little things. And as she was posting my stop motion and as she was posting the photos that we had taken together, I started building a following that really liked the style of stuff that we created. And it wasn't just followers, but it was the right followers. She's really well connected.
So she was a connected individual in that market.
She has a fabulous presence. She's just got a really great style and really great visual quality to all of her work. And so being a part of that was really cool, and being able to also gain the right followers from working with her. And I work with her to this day too. She's she's phenomenal.
So when you started out working with her though, you're probably doing this stuff for next to nothing, right?
And I think that that's something that So I feel like when we were introducing my story, it was like this rags to riches kind of thing, but really it was a lot of hard work for a long time. And I feel like that's how it is with every business, is that there's all this time that you kind of put into building that people sometimes don't see, don't understand, and kind of they'll be like, wow, how are you so successful? That was an overnight sensation. And you're like, no, I worked really hard on this for a really long time, and it's not really an overnight sensation kind of thing.
Although at my age, that seems overnight to me. Well, but the principle I want everyone to understand here is that you worked for her. She was the right person that was going to connect you with the right individuals on the platform, but you didn't really get paid that much from her.
Yeah, but I worked with a lot of people in that way. I worked for lots of bloggers.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it for almost for free? Did you do it for free? I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I did it for free for a lot of people. I wanted to get my name out there. I wanted people to find me on social media. I wanted to build my social media following. I wanted to grow my content as well as grow my portfolio, because while I'm working with all these fabulous bloggers and content creators, they have this really great style and this ability to style. I feel like they taught me a lot about styling, and a lot about color, and a lot about props, and a lot about like creating like vignettes and creating those kind of things. And I feel like they taught me a lot, which also translated into my stop motion. But at the time, I did it all because I just wanted to get my name out there. Yeah. I wanted people to find my work. I wanted them to hire me for what I was doing. And instead of like hiring me to shoot some, like babies, because I'm not good at shooting babies. They like cry around me.
It's not what you wanted to do.
It's not what I wanted to do.
What you're after.
But that's what people were contacting me for, but it's not what I was good at doing.
So it's more important to, if you're going to do something for free, which is, you did a lot of that.
You have to do what you love.
It's got to be in an area that really is going to be important. Well, I always talk about you in terms of you specialized.
Yes,
you did something that was very specialized, and the market has a reason to respond to you. So when do you get it to a point where you're going, okay, I'm shooting these things, and I'm now going to start making money? I mean, when did you cross that bridge?
Okay, I'll be totally honest. And this isn't a plug for your class, but I was in school, and you were teaching a business class, and I took your business class, and you told us that we needed to get checks and our own business account and like got our website and everything squared away. And I remember sitting there and being like, I don't need to do that. That is not going to help me in any way. And then a few weeks later, I got contacted by a person to do something, and I was like, JP might have a point. It might be nice to put that check into its own account. And so that weekend, I opened up a business account, and I got checks, and I did all those things that you told us to in the business class, and I started to take myself seriously. And it was at that point that I knew what I wanted to do. I started taking myself seriously, started taking my business seriously, and then I started making money. And I was able to track what I made. And so I was able to see like, oh, I did really good. Anyways, it changed it for me. It changed my mentality.
There's a sense of when you do those things, you now feel like, okay, I'm legitimate. Yeah. I'm ready to make money. I'm not a student any longer. Even though you were a student.
I was a student.
Yeah, and you still are.
Yeah.
She's working so much. This is not an exaggeration. She's working so much that she hasn't been able to get her internship done to be able to graduate, which she's going off to London to do.
Yes.
With a paper artist.
Who's incredible.
Who's incredible, but she worked with a paper artist for all the stuff she shot for Etsy.
Yeah, but it's true. I've been done with classes for a long time now, but I just can't get that darn diploma because I'm so busy with work, which is a good problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great problem.
I'd rather have that problem than graduated with no work. So I appreciate it.
So how did you know when it was time? I mean, how did you know what to charge? How did you know how to cross that bridge?
So this is kind of like my mentality with pricing, is I started doing everything for free. And then when I started doing stop motion videos for smaller companies, and small companies being like 300,000 followers on Instagram. So they're actually quite large, and they're quite large profitability wise, but I was charging like $300.
I remember having these conversations with you.
And you were like, charge more.
And drive me crazy.
But I feel so guilty. I don't know what I'm doing. But now.
Every photographer feels like they don't know what they're doing.
It's true. Even sometimes I'm still wondering about that.
We all have that feeling. It's part of the process. You always have this sense of, I don't quite know what's going on.
Yeah, or am I really a professional?
Yeah. Do I really deserve this?
Yeah. But anyways, I was charging like $300 a video, and for as many hours as you put in, it's definitely not worth it, because I charged $300 for this one video, but I ended up shooting 20 hours. as well as, and that doesn't even count the prep time, which there was all this shopping for all the supplies and the props, and then I had to buy the royalty-free music, and I had to buy all the props. And by the time I had done their video, like, I had paid them like hundreds of dollars.
Absolutely.
And so it was kind of funny because at that point I realized I needed to charge more, but I didn't feel like I could until I had a client, Bath & Body Works, contact me. And I was like, if any client is going to pay me what I think my stop motion work deserves, it's going to be this client. And what's so cool about it is I actually keep a record of all the biggest companies on Instagram, the ones with the biggest following. And it's kind of like this list of, holy smokes, if I could shoot for anybody, it would be these companies. But then aside from that, I have a list of gold clients. And when those people on the list of the biggest companies are not on my list of gold clients because I never thought they'd be achievable. But Bath & Body Works was one of those ones on this list of, these are so unachievable, you will never get to this. And so I never put them on my gold client list, but after I shot for them, I put them on my gold client list and I checked it off.
So
but not like checked off, I still want to shoot with them.
You go from $300 and it jumps way significantly more than that when you hit the...
Yeah, so it jumped to what I feel like all the time and all the energy and the effort and all the expenses is now worth. So it's good.
Okay. So you and I remember I was sitting in a Panera Bread. I was shooting up in San Francisco. I was exhausted, been on set for 12 hours. And you called me, I was going, I'm doing this estimate. And I said, well, let's walk through it. And so this was the Etsy estimate. And so in that experience.
But prior to that, you also helped me with my Bath & Body Works estimate.
I did. I did. I love doing that, actually. I really do, because I've done a million estimates in my life, you know, and you have a pretty good idea what to charge. You know, if you don't know what to charge, if you don't talk to someone who does, it's pretty hard to figure it out. It really is hard to figure it out.
And it's hard, especially coming from a student standpoint, because I'd been, you know, I was a student and I was being told what I should charge, and I was told what professionals charge, but I didn't know what doing stop motion, working this many hours to create this many pieces, I didn't know. And so when I called you, I was probably a little bit frantic.
A little bit.
Like, JP, I need your help.
But you put that estimate together. It was more than what you thought you could get.
Yeah, it was significant, but it also, the number of videos was significant. So the first time I called you was for a campaign that I was doing for Bath & Body Works, and we were going to do 12 videos. And so my estimate was massive, and I wanted to throw up. And then you recommended that I call and say, hey, this is where the estimate is sitting at. What do you think? And so I called, and they're like, oh, that's not in our budget, but this is our budget. And so then we ended up cutting down to 4 videos because it fit within their budget, and it was way better because 12 videos is a lot of videos.
So, which is fabulous. So you get a budget, you called and said, well, here's where I'm coming out. And they're saying, oh, that's way too much money, but they cut it from 12 to 4, which now gave you decent money for the amount of time you're going to spend to do the 4.
Definitely.
And they came back, didn't they? They do more videos
we did.
again?
Yeah, we did more videos again.
So what's your advice to somebody who's starting out? I mean, what would you tell somebody who's starting out and trying to find themselves?
I would just say you have to work so hard at what you do. In school, when I was starting all this stop motion stuff, I would come back from summer break, and one of my friends, she was like, oh, did you shoot it all over the summer? And I was like, I shot every single day. There was not a single day that I wasn't shooting, and I was doing stop motion, and I was working for all these people for free, and I did all this crazy stuff. And I was like, how about you? And she's like, oh, I haven't even charged my camera battery. I didn't take a single picture. And then sometimes I have people that come to me and they're like, wow, you're so lucky. And I'm like, no, I worked really hard for a really long time, and I still work so hard. I was telling you, I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning last night working on stop motion stuff, and I had shot for 8 hours straight.
Yep.
And I had shot for 8 hours straight, and I'd done 4 days of prep prior to that, and it was just like a really long weekend. But you just got to work really hard. And in the beginning, you just have to work for free really hard. And I'm always really hesitant to say work for free because I feel like you need to be paid for what you do, but I also think that there's a lot of benefits for shooting for people that can help you.
Well, you said something significant to me when we were talking last night. You said that the lady you worked for needed someone to replace you when you were too busy. And other people that you knew shot for her a little bit. And she didn't necessarily find the right person. You also said a lot of them wouldn't keep shooting for her for that little amount of money for very long. So someone else could have taken the very same person and repeated what you did in their own life, but because they didn't stick with it.
Yeah, you really do. You really have to stick with it. You have to work really hard. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do something fun and I'm going to collaborate with someone for exposure, and you do it one time and then you're like, oh, well, I got my exposure, I'm done, because I mean, that's not really helping you and it's not really helping them. Yeah. And to build a relationship with someone like that who's just such a fabulous person, that, I mean, it really does help you.
Well, I just think I think it's fascinating. I need to emphasize this one more time. If another person had just stuck with and done the exact same you've done, they would have created their own market in the industry. And so this is not about that you were lucky. This is not about that you did connect on some level. There's some divine providence in it. You found the right person, and the right person helped you to move forward. But other people found that same person, but didn't take advantage of the same because they weren't willing to work for as long for free as you were. So I have the same feelings about working for free. It's something I'd be very cautious about. But in the end, though, if it's the right person and it's getting you going the right direction and help you develop your style and you're connecting with the right influencers, it's worth doing.
It really is. If it's a true collaboration, then it's worth it for all parties. It's like a potluck. Everybody brings something and everybody gets to eat and partake and be part of that. It's not, I'm serving you this meal and I'm walking out, you get to eat it, and I'm like super bummed. But like a true collaboration, everyone gets to take part in it and everybody gets something out of it. So, I mean, that's like my stipulation for working for free, is it really has to be beneficial for everyone.
I think that's absolutely it. And it was beneficial to you.
Yeah.
You had value gain.
It was super beneficial to me. Like I would, if I had to do it over again, I would do it over again. 100 times.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Makes perfect sense.
And I think that the person I worked with would too.
Yeah. So the question for you now is a mentor important in this process? Was it for you?
Yeah.
And tell me why.
Especially in regards to pricing, as well as talking me off a ledge sometimes, and saying, yes, you're worth it. I think a lot of times as photographers, and me especially, I'm a huge, I do this all the time, where I just don't feel like I'm worth it, and I don't feel like my work is worth it. I still feel like that. I'll tell my husband, like, I don't know why anyone emails me. Like, my stuff is so bad. And then he's like, no, it's good.
Your stuff is not bad. It's fabulous.
But I feel like that all the time. And I feel like a lot of times we're growing and we're changing. We're becoming better at our craft. But for a long time, I've always felt like my stuff was really bad. And so having you as a mentor and having Brittany as a mentor and having people telling me like, no, your stuff is worth it, your stuff is good, made me feel better about increasing my prices and charging what I feel like I deserve. And that was helpful. So mentor was huge.
Having a mentor, I think, is huge, because someone who's been there before can help you kind of see the path and help you not to make the same mistakes that they perhaps have made. So I mean, it's a great thing. So where do you see this going? I mean, how do you...
Oh my gosh.
You know, the scary part about photography is...
You never know.
Well, the scary part is that once you get into a style and once it's great, and you hit the perfect time because Instagram had opened up doing video. It was perfect. So what happens in 3 years when it's now not that interesting anymore?
That's a very good question. So lately I've been contacted more to do Spotify ads than I have for Instagram pieces.
Interesting.
30-second Spotify ads. So it's a longer form video. So it's twice as long as Instagram, and which means we have a little bit more flexibility in storyline. Yeah. And then it has voiceover, and then it has click on the banner to see our product and stuff. And so we get to create all these really fun things. So I've been asked a lot for Spotify ads, as well as to create YouTube commercials that have, you know, the commercials that pop up before you watch the video that you're actually on YouTube to watch, which hopefully we create really fun, entertaining ones so you like to watch them. But so I've been, that's kind of like more long form stuff I've been asked to do lately. But I recently finished filming a short film.
This is what I'm leading up to.
And I'm hoping that it pays off for future things. I don't know where it's going to lead. It's just so new that I don't know if there are going to be good repercussions, if it's going to be well received, or if people are going to be like, why did you spend 2 years working on this?
This is the same principle as working with the lady in the Etsy shop. What was her name again?
Brittany Jepson.
Yeah, Brittany. What Trisha did is she went out and she did a stop motion story that's how long?
5 minutes.
5 minutes long. How many people worked on it?
Lots. We worked with 6 illustrators. We worked with a project manager, a project assistant, and I mean, my husband was a huge part of it, and my siblings were a huge part of it. Like, they would come, my husband would cut paper for this till like 2 or 3 in the morning, or even later, and he would on his weekends come cut paper. And then we had a lot of photo students from the program where I went to school. They'd come and they'd help. And we had so much help. But we shot for 2 straight months.
2 straight months.
And not like shoot like 9 to 5 shoot, but like 8 to 2 in the morning shoot.
Yeah. And how much are you getting paid to do this?
0. I paid a lot of money.
You had to have. You had to have.
I mean, we spent so much money on the project. We probably spent like, I don't even want to put a number on it, but it's like
So here's my prediction. Here's my prediction. Just as you took your situation, what you were presented, and you worked for free and used that to leverage to get yourself into better clients and doing that, this will become your entrance into longer format. And you'll be getting people saying, well, we'd love to have you do a short film for us. Or you're going to get someone who says, we'd love to have you do box trolls or something like that. Can you imagine how?
No, I couldn't imagine that.
It is really, I watched it last night. It is absolutely fabulous. It's just, I mean, it's mind-boggling the amount of work that has gone into these scene after scene all over the world, in Africa, in London, and I mean, it's just absolutely fabulous. It really is.
It took a lot of time, and it's when you work on a project for so long, because I think we worked on it for about 1.5 years. And prior to that, I'd had it in my mind for 4 years, like I have to make this a stop motion. And finally doing it, I mean, it's one of those projects that you love it and you hate it at the same time. You're like, I love this, I hate this, I love this. And so I would go home after shooting all night and be like to my husband, like, I hate stop motion. I hate it so much. But then I'd go back but then I'd watch what I created and I'd be like, I love stop motion. It's so beautiful.
I just watched her on set. We did a little segment for the Slanted. She'd go, wow, look at that. That's so cool.
I'm totally obsessed. It's so bad, but I'm super obsessed. I just watch my videos over and over again.
Well, it shows really your love and your passion for it. That's fabulous.
It's fun.
Well, I see that she's repeated that. I think she's repeated that same process again. She's dedicated a tremendous amount of time, her own money. She's done it for free and created a piece that she'll now get out there and will create you the next step, the next opportunity.
Well, I hope it does that. We don't know if it will yet. It could tank. But we're taking a leap of faith.
It's going to open some kind of door. It's going to open some kind of door. It really is.
I hope good things come of it. I hope it's worth it in the end because it sure took a long time.
Okay, so I have to just say, we just shot a stop motion. She has a tripod that you can't even lock the plate on. She just drops it down to where it stops. You have terrible equipment.
Yep, it's true.
But she hasn't let that stop her. She's doing great work and getting paid great money for the work that she's doing. And it's about the art.
In my student basement apartment. I do all my animations on my kitchen floor.
That is just so fabulous.
It's actually a little bit ridiculous. But we've moved into a temporary shooting space, and I do have an assistant that works very minimally. For the film, she worked more than full time, but now that it's back to just commercial work, she works part time doing assistant stuff, and she runs errands and that kind of thing because I get really swamped. But yeah. For the most part, I shoot everything in my kitchen.
That's fabulous. All right. Well, I think Trisha is a great example of a person who's willing to persevere, work hard, and create their own market. I mean, you really have created your own market. This is a specialty look. It's her style. I mean, you look at it, she chooses 10 frames over 24 frames because she likes the way it's kind of animated and has that kind of feel. So are you a tastemaker?
I don't think so. But I work with a lot of tastemakers, and I feel like they kind of validate what I do with stop motion. And so because they like it, a lot of other people are kind of catching on to what I'm doing.
I think you might be one.
I don't think so.
Well, even if you're not, even if you don't think you are, I think you're setting trends, and definitely you're going to see a lot of little people like you pop up in the business.
I hope so. Yeah. I love seeing what other people create in stop motion because I feel like it inspires me to look at things a different way, because I feel like I'm a very linear personality, and the way that I shoot stop motion is pretty much very similar every time. But watching other people's stuff like makes me mentally break out of the mold. So I love it when other people do stop motion, and then I get to watch it, and then it inspires me.
There you go. Right. If you want to learn more about the business things that we've talked about a little bit here and kind of help guide your own business, you should take our business coaching course. It really is worth the time.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's worth the time. Definitely.
So we took the class I taught you live, and we put it into 18 segments.
Oh, okay.
You can download.
Oh, nice.
And so you can go back to them. You can refer to them.
I should probably take it again.
I'll send you the links.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's worthwhile. It's worth going through the material every so often because there's just great stuff there. So.
That's amazing.
So check it out at theslantlens.com, and this really wasn't meant to be a sales thing for that. It was not at all.
No, but it's true. And JP's helped me with so much in his business coaching, and I think I wouldn't be charging what I currently charge. I wouldn't have the clients I currently have without JP's advice. Especially because I think as a photographer, so when you're working with a big client, if you don't charge the right number, they either think you're like super out of the ballpark and you have no idea what's going on, or else you're not to their standard yet. And I think JP really helped me to gain those big clients because I was quoting the right number.
It makes you look legitimate. You look like, okay, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She knows where she's at.
So I take the business course. I'm
There
going
you
to take it again.
Absolutely. There you go. I'll make sure that happens.
Thanks.
So
keep those cameras rolling.
you keep on clicking.
I'm that. Just kidding. Don't use that information.
I don't care. If you're going to succeed in your business, you need to get help. Trisha was an example of that. She came to me and said, I don't know what to do. She took my business coaching class. I taught her the things she needed to do. She went from making just a few dollars for her Instagram videos to making a lot of money. You can do the same. Join up for our business coaching class. Go to theslanted.com. We will give you the help you need to be successful in this industry. But just remember, keep those cameras rolling, keep on clicking.
Please.
Please.
Keep those no, I'm just kidding. I wanted to have the last word, but I was just joking.
Please.
I'm just kidding. Have you seen